On October 28th, in the year AD 312, two Roman armies clash at the Milvian Bridge just north of Rome. Constantine the Great faces Maxentius in a battle that decides the fate of the Roman Empire. The confrontation changes not only the empire's leadership, but also the religious and cultural trajectory of Europe. But how did Constantine win the battle? And how did it lead to the rise of Christianity in Europe? Well, in the 4th century AD, the Roman Empire was fractured. The Tetrarchy, a system of 4 rulers, had been established by Emperor Diocletian to stabilize the empire. But after his retirement in 311, rival emperors competed for power. Constantine was born in about 272 in what is now Serbia. His father, Constantius, rose through the ranks of the Roman army, eventually becoming one of the 4 original members of Diocletian's Tetrarchy. When he died in 306, his son Constantine assumed his position within the Tetrarchy and gained the loyalty of his father's seasoned troops. Constantine ruled Britain, Spain, and Gaul, which is essentially modern-day France. Maxentius also ascended to the Tetrarchy in the year 306, usurping power from Severus II and seizing control of Italy and Africa with support from the Praetorian Guard, an elite unit of bodyguards for Roman emperors. Italy suffered under Maxentius's tyrannical rule, with food shortages, riots, and heavy-handed governance fueling unrest. With an army of 40,000, Constantine decided to invade Italy in the spring of the year 312, crossing the Alps from Gaul and seeking to overthrow Maxentius and become sole ruler of the western half of the Roman Empire. Northern Italy fell one city at a time, weakening Maxentius's position and clearing the path toward the city of Rome. By October, the stage was set for a decisive clash, a battle that would determine who controlled the heart of the empire. Surprisingly, Maxentius chose to leave the relative security of the city of Rome and its defenses and fight Constantine's smaller force on open ground north of the city. Before the battle, Constantine reportedly experienced a vision that would shape history. A cross of light appeared in the sky, and he was instructed to mark his soldiers' shields with the Christian symbol Chi Rho, the first 2 letters of Christos, the Greek name for Christ. Whether divine miracle, natural phenomenon, or psychological strategy, the vision inspired his troops and strengthened morale. It was a turning point, showing the growing influence of Christianity and foreshadowing Constantine's future as a Christian ruler. Maxentius deployed his army at the Milvian Bridge with the Tiber River at their backs, a fatal error. Constantine's cavalry struck first, breaking the enemy's flanks and enveloping the infantry. Panic spread across the bridge as thousands of soldiers and horses fell into the river, including Maxentius himself, who died that day. The Praetorian Guard fought valiantly, but its defeat marked the end of its 300-year dominance in Roman politics. Constantine's disciplined tactics, courage in battle, and strategic leadership led to a decisive victory. Rome's Western Empire was now his. Constantine entered Rome in triumph the next day, hailed as a liberator by the people. He executed Maxentius's closest allies and family, but avoided mass slaughter. He had the triumphal Arch of Constantine built to honor his victory. Completed in AD 315, it still stands today near the Colosseum. The victory allowed him to disband the Praetorian Guard, stabilize Italy, and redirect resources to governance and defense, rather than indulgence. Importantly, Constantine credited his success to the Christian God, paving the way for religious tolerance and the eventual rise of Christianity across the empire. The Battle of the Milvian Bridge was more than a military victory. It was a turning point for the Roman Empire and for European history. Constantine's triumph united the Western Empire under his rule and strengthened the Christian faith. 12 years later, Constantine defeated Licinius and won control of the entire Roman Empire. 6 years thereafter, he moved the empire's capital to Byzantium in modern-day Turkey, renaming it Constantinople, which means City of Constantine. Here are other events that happened today in history. In 1492, Italian-born Christopher Columbus sights the island of Cuba and claims it for Spain. In 1886, U.S. President Grover Cleveland dedicates the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor. In 1893, Tchaikovsky conducts the premiere of his Sixth Symphony and dies 9 days later. In 1965, construction is completed on the 630-foot-high Gateway Arch in St. Louis. In 1998, U.S. President Bill Clinton signs the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. In 2022, U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband is attacked at home by a man with a hammer. In 2023, Friends actor Matthew Perry dies of a drug overdose in California at age 54. And now it's time for our Today in History quiz. Which black day of the week was the stock market crash that sent America and the world spiraling into the Great Depression? Sunday? Monday? Tuesday? Or Friday? Liked learning about the Battle of the Milvian Bridge? Then you'll love this one about Julius Caesar's childhood. Tap the screen to keep the story going on Today in History.